Hello, it's Linda Ann at Studio ABC, and today I'm going to bring you a challenge from my studio. We're doing mini journal challenges, and all you need is a sheet of paper. A thin sheet of paper is fine, just copy paper, typing paper, that'll work. I'm going to pull out a colored piece because it'll be easier to see on my background here. We'll start by folding it in half lengthwise. I think the kids call this hot dog folds. And I make sure the corners are as lined up as you can get it, because no matter how much you line it up, it's going to come out just a tiny bit wonky anyway. So get it as close as you can. There it is, halfway, lengthwise. Now we're going to open it up, and we're going to do the same kind of fold crosswise, horizontally. Get the corners as even as you can, hold it in place, and crease it down. Open it back up. You have 4 sections here. And we're going to bring the end sections, the long sections, into the center on each side. Get it as straight as you can. Line it up with the center and on the edges, and then hold it in place and crease it down. Same thing on the other side. When you finish these folds, it's going to be folded like a little fan. See this? Back and forth folds. If it's not, just adjust it so that it is. And you'll have 8 little sections. Adults can be told to just start cutting in the center, but when I'm working with children, I make a circle in the center and a dot on all the other cross folds, all the other places that it folds across. So you see, that way they won't fold it the wrong way and cut it in half. They'll start cutting in the center and they'll go out to the dot. And when it's folded, they'll go to the dot on both sides at the same time. Let me demonstrate that. It's folded up like this, and if I start cutting on the big dot, the circle, and go down to the little dot, then I'll have it cut the right way. But sometimes the kids will fold it this way and they'll cut it straight in half, or they'll start cutting on the wrong side. Anyway, this is the way that to keep them from getting it all mixed up. It's a good way to teach them. So if you're working with children on this, you might want to take this little piece of advice. So you start on the big dot and you cut straight down to the little dot right on that fold and stop. Now you're going to prop this up like a teepee. See, it's a teepee this way. And I can turn it and grab onto the handles this way, and all I'm going to do is bring it down. Let me show you that again. For kids, they'll grab the handles and then they'll push down and bring it together. Then after that, all you have to do is push the pages together, flatten it out, kind of flatten it out with your fingers, and then pull the other flap over, and you've got a book. And see, I told you it was going to turn out a little wonky. It always does, every single time. But these would make nice signatures in a book if you wanted to collect several and then bind them. And they're 2 pages thick. Each one is made of 2 pages, but it makes the neatest little non-threatening book around. You'll need to go to Studio ABC SEE on Facebook, the art group on Facebook, to check and see what the challenge is each month. But this is the month I'm starting it, in July, and so the challenge this month is going to be stars. And I know we're past our patriotic holiday in the United States right now, but stars aren't just for the holidays, and they're an interesting design element. It's something that most kids and adults can draw. They might be wonky, but that's okay. Wonky works. So I'll just design this as my cover and write July Challenge on the outside. It's not coming out right. I'm going to need to erase because I've run out of room. That's the joy of using pencil, so you can erase. I'm putting this video together really fast today, so I'm using whatever's laying around close to me. And it just happens that I have a green Sharpie. And I'm going to trace over some of my pencil lines here. I'll probably come back to this later and decorate it a little more, but for now, let's just trace over the pencil lines and see what we can do. And since I made them wonky and too crowded, I'll just do my own thing here. It won't exactly go with the pencil lines, but I don't care. There, I got the whole word in. So let's put stars down at the bottom also, because it's July Challenge Stars. And I'm going to reach out for my artistic license and use a star as the T in the word stars. Okay, that's enough for the cover, because basically today I'm not trying to make a masterpiece. I'm just trying to show you what we can do on journals. Now, if you want to do this on some other surface, some other substrate, and not do the mini journal, go for it. All I ask is that when you accept the challenge, that you go into Studio ABC and that you will, post your work and share it with us so that we can all enjoy what you've done. I have a stencil here nearby. I don't have any sponges or anything to stencil with, so I'm just going to trace that stencil. I told you I'm using what's very close to me right now. I'm not hopping up looking for supplies. I want a bit more of a random pattern here, so I'm scooting the stencil around as I trace, and that looks pretty good so far. So far, so good. I have a few silks here on my desk and a couple of twinkling H2Os, so we'll see how this works on this little journal. Now, you can do every page separately. I chose to do a full page spread, and that's what I'm going to do throughout this little book, just to make it fast so I can get this challenge out to you. But each page could be handled separately if you work small. I personally do not work that small most of the time, but I'm finding that this little, as I keep calling it, non-threatening surface, it's so tiny that you can't mess up too much. So I'm at least expanding it just a little bit for me. You can choose to use the full spread, or you can use each page individually. On the back, I'm probably going to just put my name and date on it. Probably not going to put any stars on it. I might put stars in the name and date. That would be interesting. But the theme is stars for July. And we'll follow a theme for this and see what you can do with it each month. As I'm adding these little sparkles of solar gold around, I'm thinking about my little kitty cat that crawled up in the window last night, 4th of July, and watched the fireworks. He was just thrilled with watching fireworks. You should have seen him. It was so funny. I tried to capture it on camera and I just couldn't get it. Okay, so I'm drying this off. And he's all done. So I'm going to put a page there just in case it's not quite dry. And I'm going to use some more of these silks and just paint a star. And I'm going to paint echoes around this star. That's always a fun design job. You just keep going and going with this page until you get all the way to the edges. And I don't worry about making it exactly the same distance from the last line. I think it's more interesting if there's some areas where it's wider and some areas where it's more narrow. I sort of think we'll have a lot of people doing this challenge. I hope so. If you are not in Studio ABC, just click on the description box below and I'll put the link for that. And you can come in and join us. and see what the monthly challenge will be for this each month. I probably won't make a video every month for this, but this is my sample video to show you what I mean when I'm talking about mini journals. So I'm ready to move on to the next page. I'll probably go back to that previous page after it has time to dry a little bit more. Where I went over the stars a lot, I did end up getting some bleed through, even through that second page, but that's okay. I'm going to go back and disguise it. Now I'm painting over. It's just whatever you want to do. Use the stars as a starting point for your design. And every month, whatever theme comes up, use it as a starting point. This is, this really is fun. I'm not into journal pages, but I'm finding that this takes so little time, and I'm seeing possibilities here of things I could do on a larger canvas. It's making me think of things to do this. I may just have to get into journaling a little more. I know one thing, I sure like this Wine and Roses color. The sparkle may not be coming out on the camera, but it has a shimmer that's really amazing. I really like the way this looks. I'm definitely going to be using that very soon. And as I look back, I see a little bleed through, and that's fine because I was going to come back to these pages and decorate them anyway. It might work better if you used a black pen or a sepia colored pen, but I'm just going to go again with what's available to me on my desk. You've heard that before somewhere. And I'm going to use pencil to fill in some designs. They do not have to be any particular pattern. This is my book. I can do what I want to. I don't have to follow anybody's patterns. I can make up my own. I can do what I want to do. That's what journaling's all about. Exploring your own way of doing things, having fun. I know in college we used to be required to do thumbnails, which is along the same line as journaling. We would just do little thumbnail sketches all the time. And we had to turn that in as part of our classwork. But I'm enjoying this so much today that I may go back on my word and I say I'm not going to make a video every month. I might do it. We'll see. Uh-oh, these kind of look like eyeballs. I don't know that I like eyeballs. I'm going to try to make it look like donuts. Actually, I don't want it to look like anything in particular. I'm playing again. Donut. Fill that in. Fill this in. Put some stripes. Oh, stars and stripes. Never thought of that. I'm back to the 4th of July in the United States again here. You know what? If I spent more time on this and took it very seriously, and yet I don't want to be too serious, but if I took it a little more seriously, I could have some really interesting designs going here, and it would prove to be good starting places for working on canvases later. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Got some ideas from it. The theme for this first one is stars. Click on the link below in the description box if you aren't a member of Studio ABC, and request to join. And if you are, glad to see you here. Hope you have as much fun with this as I did. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, remember, thumbs up, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a great day.